I'll be honest. It kind of feels like now that Dr. Josh is no longer affiliated with the show, that doing the intro with presented in association with Digital Hammurabi is probably starting to wear thin. But what
But
can I?
he's like a co-founder almost. He was here
That,
from the early
that's
days.
that's true. Honestly, and this is the truth. This was his idea. So maybe we just leave it. I don't know. Maybe I just leave it. Just because we like him so much.
Yeah. If
So
it's his brainchild, let it be his brainchild. It'll be
let it
okay.
let it survive. That's right. Okay. You've
Which is
you've
probably
talked me
why
into
he can't make so many, is because he's got actual children at home that need his attention.
in order to ensure that his in real life children are looked after, he just ends up abandoning all the brain children. That's it, right? One's got to
Basically.
go. So keep and this is the lesson. Um given the choice between your brain children and your real children, don't abandon your real children. That's
That seems like the right choice.
so uh uh hey Justin, how you doing?
You know what? I couldn't be better, Dr. Kipp. Or sorry, Dr. Kill. I couldn't be better. I'm happy to be back with you again. It's been quite a while.
Yeah. So that's awesome. It's
And
Thursday. It's what's the date today? It's the 23rd of October already. Like holy
indeed it
shit.
is.
So and everyone in the chat, welcome. It's usually there's not a lot of new people who watch my Hebrew reading streams because seriously, we're sitting around and we're reading Hebrew.
It's
I'm
a
just
niche.
happy that it's very niche. I'm just happy that anyone watches, honestly. But that's what this show is. This is the show
Mhm.
where I and formerly Dr. Josh, but now a bunch of different people, sit around and read Hebrew texts and kind of nerd out about it, which is always super fun. And I'm just pulling up the text here
It's
now.
a ton of fun for me because I'm a Hebrew novice, which means I actually get to come and learn stuff on this live stream.
Live learning. It's like a snapshot into somebody doing it in real time. That's great. That's awesome. So yeah, so I'm very happy that you were able to come back and hang out and do this. So we are jumping back in today, back in for everybody else, but newish for you. Oh yeah, I have to turn the page here. So, First Kings chapter 18, starting in verse 41. And it's a famous story. Everybody knows this story, I think, don't they? But
Well,
maybe not.
A lot of Christians aren't familiar with the Old Testament, so that's a tough
Oh,
one.
oh, is that right? Eh? See,
That
this
was
is
my experience. Yeah.
oh, okay. So, you probably don't talk about this story much in your in your debates and your shows that you do. This is probably not one that comes up very much.
Surprisingly, Elijah outrunning the chariots, while it's a fun talking point, it's not really a very good debate talking point.
I guess not. I guess not. So, yeah, that's true. There's some interesting things going on in the Hebrew text though here. And one thing that I'm going to point out to right at the get-go is, and did you maybe find this a little bit insane how much the verb Allah repeats itself?
Yeah, it was one of those texts where I was so happy that when I first learned Hebrew, we learned to go up almost immediately as an intro verb. So, but yeah, it shows up a lot. It almost makes you think the author had some intent in
It
using it.
feels like it, because like when you look back on the rest of the chapter, right? Like he only uses it for describing the offering of sacrifices, basically, in the first section of this story. And then all of a sudden you hit verse 41 and Ahab's going up and Elijah's going up and the the boy is going up, and they're doing it over and over and over again. It's kind of like, what is going on here? Are you trying to tell us something? I don't have the answer to that question, but that's not really what this stream is for. This stream is not for answers. There are other streams for that. Sometimes I just
Unless it's Hebrew grammar,
there
then
you
there
go.
will
There,
probably be answers.
that's true. There might be some answers there. So, yeah. So, we're probably ready to get started then, I guess, eh?
Yeah,
Do
let's
you
dive in.
do you want to read first, or do you want
Sure.
to gird
I
up your loins?
You know what? Well, 41's a short passage. Let
Okay.
me we'll get warmed up and give me the
All
easy
right.
one, give you the longer one.
Sure. Sounds good.
And we'll just apologize ahead of time that my pronunciation is certainly not gonna be as
Hey,
good as
guess
a
what?
native
Guess
Hebrew speaker or Kipp.
guess what, Justin?
Mm.
It's like everybody that I have on this show who's not Dr. Josh or Jason Hare, who's in the chat, always apologizes for their terrible pronunciation. So you are in good company. And mine, even though I've been reading the text for a long time, almost entirely in my head, mine
Right.
happens to not be great. So it's something I've actually and I got out of it again when this is where teaching always helps, right? When I used to teach it, it was good. And then when I stopped teaching it, the only time I would pronounce Hebrew was when I was reading it in my head, right? So then it got embarrassing when I had to, read
Right.
sections of Hebrew at a conference in a paper that I wrote or something, right? So yeah, it just but that's that it makes a big difference. So, like, everyone who is learning, make sure you're reading the texts out loud.
Yeah. That was
And
one of my, big regrets when I was in Bible college and seminary, we had to learn to read Hebrew, obviously, but there was almost no emphasis on speaking it. Like, there was some oral, recitations in class, but very little. It was more like, "Can you translate this text on a piece of paper?"
oh, yeah, right? Wow.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, like, that's not uncommon either. Uh, I I had, I like, usually when you teach it, and when you, have classes, quite often, you'll get oral exams in this. But I worked at a university where they strongly, strongly discouraged oral exams at the undergraduate level, and I'm trying to remember if it was the same for grad school, but they strongly discouraged it. So, as a result, that's one of those things that you miss out on. So, yeah. All right. Well,
Mm.
let's dive in.
Alright. 41, I think we're at,
That's correct.
Vayomer Eliyahu le Now, I would say typically, I would say the English version of Ahab, but, in the Hebrew, it looks like
Speaking Hebrew today.
le'akav.
Yeah.
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 Ele ekol ushte ki kol hamon hageshem. Or
Good.
sorry, hageshem, yeah, yeah.
That's right.
So this is just, the first verb is, he said or and he said, and this looks like a call or a cal verb. So nothing happening here out of the ordinary. Eliyahu obviously is Elijah, and then lamed preposition for Ahab, and then we get the verb as you already said, elah, to go up, or alay. So looks like a third masculine singular cal verb, as far as I can tell. One of the things that when I was reading the text, actually, this is not third person. Give me a second.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, this has got to be second person.
In a manner of
So
speaking.
yeah, yeah. It's being used as a second person verb here. Elijah said to Ahab, "Go up." So he's speaking in the second person here, but the conjugation, um, is not readily apparent as I'm looking at it as a second person verb.
Can I, and you've got a couple here. You've got,
Mhm.
ale, echo, ushte. And
Mm.
these are all the same conjugation. And maybe this is a good time to put to put the text down and actually pull up the I'll stop sharing that. Pull up the iPad, which I kind of love doing. So
Oh, they're imperatives. There we go.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
where is the actual second person conjugation happening
right.
here? And then it struck me just now, they must be imperatives, which why the vowels are shortened, right?
Yeah. So now one of oh, let me just change my pen here. I prefer something a little broader. Okay. Um Now, one of the things that I tell my Hebrew students is that the way to make imperatives, the way to think about imperatives is exactly how you thought about them. These are second person forms of the verb because when you're providing an instruction to someone, you're always addressing either an individual or a group. It's always, couched in the second person. And a nice way to think about these is if you take this is the cal imperfect second masculine plural singular, sorry, form,
Right,
right? Ta'ale of Allah.
right.
You notice all you have to do to this is just get a bigger
Knock
erase.
off the initial
Just
tav.
knock that off, right? In fact,
Right.
one of my students, Satan 616, who may or may not, he's probably not because he's in Romania, and it's like the very early wee hours of the morning. So, but he likes to say, "You just cut the tip off." So in a sense, you're circumcising
That's
the
it.
verb. That's it. To make an imperative. So when you see that, you just kind of look for your vowel pattern, and then that'll get you to uh to the right conjugation. So imperatives are either masculine, feminine, and plural or singular. So I'm just going to bring the text back up. And all three of these are effectively the same. You should be able to do the rest of them then. Uh,
Yeah, so I mean, we've got 3 imperatives in a row,
yeah.
it looks like, and so they're just gonna be what, masculine singular,
Yeah.
imperatives? And then we've got a key call, which is, for or because, the sound or a sound. I didn't see a definite article in here, but I feel like translating it as a sound is silly, and,
Yeah.
hamon is like a noise or like an agitation or, something stirring typically. And then obviously the rain, Hagashem. So my reading was, and Elijah said to Ahab, "Go up, eat, drink." Go up, eat. Yeah, go up, eat, drink, because the sound of the noise or the agitation of the rain.
Yeah. I mean that certainly works. I think the sense that's being conveyed here, what I think Hamon is doing is sort of providing like the force of the rain. The rain it's like a thundering rain. It's like a
Mm.
like a rushing, um, pounding sound of rain is coming. Jason's here he's see this is Jason's super useful to have around here. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He runs the Hebrew Cafe, which is an excellent resource on YouTube.
Well, I've seen him on this show, but I haven't seen
Yeah.
if he has his own show, I haven't seen that yet. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's very good. So he notes Kol Hamon Hageshem is a construct chain. The article is on the final word of the chain. which is something I should point
Mm,
out. So because you can make all three of those words are in construct, right? Or the two, yep, that's exactly right, Hypatia, a downpour. The two words are in construct with, and the one on the end of the chain is the one that provides the definiteness to it. Yeah, I missed that too
that makes sense.
when you said it. So yeah.
What's the grammatical giveaway, other than obviously the definite article on rain, that the prior, rest of the phrase is in the construct form?
So, I mean, these are oftentimes, but not always, right? You hope you get some shortening of the vowels in order
Okay.
to show that, but it doesn't always happen. In fact, it maybe happens half the time. So usually it's honestly it's a lot of times you're just reading this stuff in context. When you see two nouns side by side, it's almost always
Okay.
an indicator that they're in a construct relationship. And as Jason points out here, these aren't marked specifically as construct forms, so it's just reading that reveals it exactly. So it's because the sound because sound thundering the rain, something like that, or
Mhm.
sound agitation the rain. Okay, those are all nouns. Um, it's probably the because this is the way this is the way that Hebrew narrative works. You put nouns together in construct chains to communicate these sorts of things. Oftentimes, things that don't come across as clearly in English either, right? Like Hebrew will use construct chains to make adjectival
Mhm.
expressions that we would ordinarily use adjectives for. So it's one of these elements of the language. You get a stronger sense for it the more you read it or you see it, right? And that helps you in your translation as well. But you got the idea.
Well, we definitely appreciate the input from our audience, that's for sure.
Yeah. So did you translate the Elijah said to Ahab, did you translate all the imperatives?
Yeah, so, Elijah said to Ahab, "Go up, eat and drink because of the,
That's right.
the noise of the rain."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Heavy noise of the rain. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, let's and I'll just point this out right. Can you guys can see my cursor here? I think, can't you? There it is. This first word here, remember what I said about the imperative ale here. You'll notice it right away. Vaya'ale. Ta'ale is the second second person masculine singular form of Allah. And you'll notice that if you lop all this off, it's basically identical.
Yeah.
Just the sere is a segol instead, and yeah, that has to do um with the way the accent's now shifting with the removal of the vav consecutive and the verbal prefix. Anyways, I'll read this. Vaya'ale achav le'echol v'lishtot ve'eleyahu Allah el rosh hakarmel vayighar artsa vayasem panav bein birkav. Okay, there's a couple things that I'll probably have to point out here as well. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Now I'm worried about getting a show panel. Oh, good. Okay. Sorry, I hit a button. And fortunately, it wasn't the hang up button. That would have been bad. So,
Oh, no, don't do that.
no. Um, yeah, that's happened before, but we won't talk about that. Okay. Um, so Elijah said to Ahab, no, you read that. Now, or so, or Ahab got up or went up to eat and to drink. And Elijah went up to the top of Carmel. And the verb here, vayighar, I believe this is like the only place in the Bible it occurs. It means like to crouch down. It's from a root. I think it's an Akkadian root that means to stretch. So he crouched down to the earth. Aretsa, you'll recognize eretz as the noun for land or earth. The comets hey on the end there is directional. This is the directional hey. So he is crouching down to the earth, and he set his face between his knees. I'll do the verbs first, and then we'll talk about that word at the end there. Okay, so vaya'aleh is a cal imperfect cal imperfect third masculine singular with the vav consecutive from Allah, meaning to go up. And then we've got, instead of the imperatives, we now have these infinitives construct. Le'eko velishtot. These are both cal infinitive constructs prefixed with the preposition lamed, and it's just a very, very natural way in which the infinitive construct is functioning, similar to how it does in English, right? To eat and to drink. Notice on the form of velishtot, this is from Shata, because it's a third hay, and the third hay is a guttural. The hay is guttural. It can't stand on its own, so it oftentimes will take these helping endings in certain conjugations. So in the infinitive construct of the third hay, you'll see this holem vav tav ending, which is, I kind of look, those actually help me quite a bit to think infinitive construct right away, because I mean, when it comes to nouns, feminine nouns, you see the tav as like a construct indicator, and the feminine plural ending ot is also a construct plural indicator. So that helps me at least. So Ahab got up to eat and drink, and then Ahab went up. Yeah, I translated this already. So Allah, just a straight cal perfect third masculine singular, also from Allah. So now we have, two more appearances of Allah just in this verse. Then we have vayighar, also a cal imperfect third masculine singular from Gahar with the vav consecutive, and easy to recognize because it's got the hiric in the verbal prefix and the doubled the doubled yod in the verbal prefix as well. And then vayosem is from sim, meaning to set or to put. This is a cal imperfect as well. Third masculine singular with the vav consecutive. And I think that's it for the verbs. Now, Birdakov looks like you look at that and you think, well, that's singular. Berek is not a really commonly occurring noun, but you recognize the root there. Most people will. The verb barach means to bless. So there's this kind of pretty natural connection between the verbal form and then this noun, which means knee. I believe it always, Jason can correct me on this, but yeah, I believe it only always occurs in the plural. So this is almost certainly a scribal mistake, because you can't put your face between your knee. So he didn't put his
Right.
face between his knee. And then the rabbis have recognized it as such too, just in the way they pointed it with this comets underneath the cough. This is, in fact, you can see it. I don't know how familiar you are with the Masura, Justin, if
Not
you see where
terribly,
yeah, so on the
but
right,
yeah, I can see it.
you can see he's got Birkov here, right? And then he's got this Kof underneath it, which stands for Kare, to be read. So the Kativ is Birko, probably, in terms of vocalizing it, but you read Birkov, the plural.
Yeah. So I've got the the BHS a different edition open, and they've got rather than a Kometz and then a Vav, they've actually got a Holem Vav as the last letter
For which? Sorry?
for Berako.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it would look like if it was singular.
Okay. That's
So,
interesting. Okay.
but because you've got that comments there, that tells you, yeah, something's off here.
Okay.
That doesn't look right. So, um, yeah, but I think that's everything. So, it's sort of an interesting image, to crouch
It
down,
is.
uh, with it and to set his face between his knees. I don't know what's going on. I I
It
I just don't.
Yeah. It does make you wonder what's he doing with his head between his knees. He's
Yeah.
not on a plane crash.
No, no. And this sort of a like it's he's not prostrating. He's not praying or prostrating himself. It's sort of a it's not a common expression as far as I know. Does anyone here, Jason or Simone? It's good to see you, by the way, Simone. Um, do you recognize this setting your face between your knees as something that happens elsewhere in the Bible? I mean, I could have always looked a bunch of this stuff up, but I didn't. So, but that's why the chat's here. So, and Jason says he has no idea why he would be
Yeah.
doing that, honestly. And Simone says there's a bit of in the Heckalot literature which involves placing your head between your knees and breathing in order to change your state of consciousness. Oh wow, this sounds very similar to an activity I used to do in junior high school. So I don't. So I used to. This is something we I don't know if you guys did this, but we used to like crouch right down and breathe really heavy, and then stand up quickly and
Mhm.
like and do this and
Yep.
pass out. And it was always super fun. So
I think most teenagers engaged in that activity, if I the ones I knew did.
look, I was in junior high school, and I didn't have any ready access to drugs. So
What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna
And
do?
gasoline leaves a bad taste in your mouth if you huff it. You can't do that.
It does that too.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, it's an interesting image. All right.
Well, when the prophets do things in the Hebrew Bible, sometimes it's weird. Like
Yeah.
like Saul when he becomes among the prophets, strips naked and is rolling on the ground basically. I mean, you don't know what the spirit's gonna do.
It's true. It's very true. And I think that's fascinating about this stuff too, right? Is you get these snapshots and these images of things that are going on, and I'm sure this is significant to the writer of this text, but it's cool. I like it.
It's fun.
All right. Verse 43.
All right, 43. Vayomer El Naro,
Na'aro.
Naaro,
Yeah.
Elena Habait or Habit,
Habate.
Habait. Okay. Derek Yam, Vayaal, Vayabait, Vayabait,
Good.
Vayomer, Ain, Me'uma, Vayomer, Shuv, Shuva.
Sheva.
Oh, Sheva, yes,
Yeah.
Sheva. Pa'amim, Pi'amim.
Yeah, you got it right the first time. I would have said pet a meme.
Okay. It's always difficult to when you're doing some of the really short vowels to get it just
Yeah.
right if you're not used to it. So I've got and his servant said Na'ar would be servant with the third masculine singular suffix. So and his servant said, or he said to his servant actually,
That's it.
and he
Yeah.
said to his servant, Ele, which looks like the imperative again,
Mhm.
with na for please. So at least he was polite about it this time. Please
Very
go, please go, and look, look. If now that we've already had the discussion on imperatives, looks like another imperative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
doesn't it? So
Totally.
that's got to be an imperative. Derek Yam is the way of the sea, or the towards the sea, you could say. Look at the way where the sea
Yes.
is. And he went up and he looked, and he said, ain is like a negative. It's like no
Yeah.
or nothing. So it'd be there's nothing, which is an interesting situation, because the next word I had to look up, which just means something. So
There's
he's like,
no something out there.
there's no something, there's nothing, right?
I think
And he's mhm.
when I think it's Halot, the Hebrew Aramaic lexicon says that this is these negations with
Mhm.
me'oma, and it can occur with lo and al and ain, all the negative particles. It just says there's nothing at all.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah. There's no
It basically
there is no
inverts it.
something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. So he said that there's nothing, and he said, return or go back. Shuv is like a return or to go back. Although I noticed they've got the rather than the standard shurik in the middle between the sheen and the bait, they've got the standard U class vowel in there.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's meaningful or not, or if that's just how they chose to write it.
I think this would also, because it is an imperative and because the way you form
Oh,
these
that's
so
why.
it's the shortened vowel, right? So
That
it's,
makes sense.
that's
They shortened
that's
it because it was the imperative. My
yeah,
brain will latch onto that eventually. Uh, Shiva is 7, so he's saying, he said, "Go back 7 times."
yeah,
Pa'amim would be like a repetitions or occurrences.
yep.
But I'm not sure where he's going back to 7 times.
So, yeah, so he goes I mean, let's look at this. So he
Mhm.
said to his servant, Go up," because he's already at the top of the
Sure.
mountain. Well, I mean, they're already there at the top of the mountain, so
Mhm.
you're right. Where is he going up to? We don't know. Um, yeah, so, um, but this is probably and it's probably not, uh, return. He's probably telling him in this case, it's probably more like just get up off your
Mhm.
ass and go look. Get up off your
Yes.
ass, take a look to the west,
Mhm.
and he's like, "There's nothing there." And then it goes, it's just a way of saying, "Do it again."
Mm,
Shuv is to turn, return. It's to you can use it as like
as a
repeat.
repetition.
So
It
yeah,
could be perhaps translated as, you know, um, go in the direction of the sea. He went up and then he looked and he said, there's nothing there. And then he said, well, look 7 more times would be a way to
see,
smooth that out.
this is one of the things that I was thinking through as I was translating this text was did Elijah tell him do this 7 more times, or did he just say, "Do it again," and it happened again, and this repeated itself 7 times, right?
Mm.
Because it would be weird to say, now go and look 7 more times.
It is an
Right.
interesting, but then again, his
Right.
head is still between his knees, perhaps.
That's true. Yeah, that's why his boy has to do this for him. Of course.
Right.
Yes. This makes sense now. Thanks for pointing that out to me. Because
Oh,
I
boy.
didn't think that through
I
clearly.
mean, we're not told that he looked up yet, are we?
No. He's still, and I think it's probably fair to assume that he's still in the fetal position
Mm.
on the ground. So yeah, I actually, I mean, that actually helps to make some better sense of, this text. It's like this activity, the Yasempanav being Berkov, the setting of the face between the knees, sort of feels at this point like this is an intentional action on his part that he's got to keep doing for
Yeah.
reasons, right? Which is why he can't get up and go and just look for himself.
Yeah.
Or he's just, he's just really fucking lazy.
It's
So,
gotta be meaningful to the original audience.
yeah. Yeah, I think so. But, and yeah, no question, Jace. I hear you. He says he's 45 and has trouble getting out of a chair. And yep, 100%. I get it. And that's why Elijah has a boy handy, because they're young and they can do things like that. So,
Although, let's not overlook how impressive it is that an adult Elijah can actually put his head between his knees.
right. Yes. That's a good point. And once he's in that position, it's probably harder to get out of it.
I would
So,
imagine.
yeah. So, I'm curious because you always picture him as older, and now I have to think through this. I believe he's already called Elisha at this point. Elisha, am I right about that? That the call of Elisha occurs in chapter 17.
I would think so,
So,
yeah.
but and if that's the case, then maybe that's why I just assume that he's older. Um,
But he doesn't strike
oh,
me as the type of guy that ate a lot of food. He's probably pretty slim.
probably, yeah. I can go with that. But or does it happen in chapter 19? No, I think that's anyways. But I guess we don't really have any idea how old Elijah is. I just assumed he's old. When you picture prophets in the Bible, usually they're old. Unless it's Jeremiah, or is there another one? Like Jeremiah is usually cast as pretty young because
Yeah.
he makes there's language to that effect, but
I mean,
yeah.
how old was Samuel when? Because
Oh,
he
yeah.
was dedicated as
Yeah.
a baby, but I'm not sure at what age he was actually called, but he was pretty
Oh,
young.
look at this. I'm paying such poor attention to the chat that Jason had to draw my attention to the fact that he made a dirty joke. That's why I have a boy handy. My boyfriend, oh my god, dude, he's 24 and you're 45. Holy cow. Wow. He helps me get up and down, especially down.
Jason, what's the male version of a cougar? He's a fox.
Yes, he's a fox, right? So, a young roaring lion. That's
Oh
yeah.
boy.
That's hot, Jason. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Moving on, aren't we?
Right, yes, indeed, yeah. We
Kind of
got
a show.
distracted by the
What kind of a
boy
show is
helpers.
this? Yeah, crazy. Okay, I'm just gonna move this down. It's easier to read when I'm transitioning pages. Vayhi bashpiit vayomer hine of kitana kikaf ish ola miyam vayomer ale omer el achav esor vared velo ya'atzarcha hagashem. Boy, that sounded awkward. Okay. And it happened on the seventh time that he did this. He said, look, a tiny cloud, or a cloud tiny like the palm of a man. So it's really small. Rising up from the sea, or coming up from the sea. And he said, so that's I think that's the boy speaking.
Yeah.
And then it says, and now we have Viomer here is used again to indicate a change in speaker. So now this is Elijah. And he said, get up again. Say to Ahab. So this is like bind is the very general meaning of this of this verb here. It probably means, most translators take it to mean like harness your horses. So harness your bind or lash up and go down.
Yeah, kind of like similar in English idiom, we might say, mount your horses. It means like get ready to go, even though
Yeah.
you may not even have a horse.
Yeah, something like that. I think he
Yeah.
does though. And it literally, I'll the literal expression here is, and the rain will not like overtake you or what did I say before? Let me actually look at how I translated this in my notes here. It shall not hold you up. It's not going to
Okay.
stop you. Overtake. Yeah, that's not right. It's not going to restrain you. It won't hold you up. So he's saying, but this is even though it's not constructed like you might expect something like a conditional clause. This is probably conditional. Uh, like lash your horses and get going, so that the rain doesn't hold you up, so that you don't get stuck in the
Right.
rain. Basically, it's very awkward.
Right.
It's very awkward.
Yeah, because it's what is it, third masculine singular for the verb, and
Yep.
the object is the rain. So it'd be the rain doesn't hold you.
The rain is actually the subject here.
Or the
So
subject, yeah.
yeah. So yeah. So let's do. I'll do the verbs here. Vaihi, we know this is the cal imperfect third masculine singular with a vav consecutive from haya. Vayomer, we know, and it repeats itself a couple of times. And then ola, this is a participle from Allah. Again, see what I mean, guys? Like it's everywhere.
Every verse.
And it's not just not just being used in the sense of the what you pointed out when we started, that it's just introducing new action or saying, do this. It's being used in a variety of ways, which just makes me think that there's something about the goings ups in this verse,
Yeah.
in this section here, and it's just in this section. So so this is a cal participle, masculine singular from Allah. The cloud, the tiny cloud, the cloud that's tiny like the palm of a hand of a man, is rising up or coming up from the east, or from the sea, sorry, not the east. So out in the west. Remember, they're standing on top of Mount Carmel and looking out to the west here. So this is a situation where, and quite often, right, participles in Hebrew, in the Hebrew Bible, will translate as present actions. I
Mhm.
think this is a very good instance where that's why, what the participle is doing in this situation. And then we've got these two imperatives again, ale and mord. We saw these. Maybe we didn't see a mord earlier. We saw echo, but this is,
Right.
you can see the exact same vowel pattern there, right? Because both of those are first aleph verbs. So yeah, two cal imperatives, ale and emor, masculine singular imperatives, get up, say to Ahab, and then Esor, again, another one of these first aleph cal masculine singular imperatives. Lash or bind your horses, presumably. And vared is another imperative with the conjunctive vav. It's pointed like the vav looks like that. It's got the comments underneath it, which is unusual because this is a first yod verb from yarad.
That was my next question, is why drop the yod?
So that's, again, this is I when it comes to making imperatives, you're always just lopping off that verbal prefix every time. This is the
Mm,
easiest way for me to think of these. So when you're pointing, or if you go through your paradigm of your first yod verbs, and when you get to um you know these forms, you've got this assimilation basically between the prefix yod, and then the actual root letter of the verb. It'll like disappear into the prefix, so it usually ends up getting doubled, right? So you end up with yedaid, teadaid, teadaid, eadaid, in your singular form. So if you're just lopping that verbal prefix off, then you're left with braid, and then
sure.
you attach the vav conjunctive to it, and it's taking that the long vowel, um, in compensation for the missing verbal prefix. So yeah, another imperative, and then this form here, ya'atzarcha. So this is just a cal imperfect, third masculine singular from atzar. Now it has a suffixed, uh, a pronominal suffix on the end here. We would normally expect to see just the um uh the final cough with the comets. But this is one of these fairly rare instances in the Hebrew Bible where you've got the long form
Mhm.
of of the verbal suffix. We start seeing this all, not the verbal suffix, sorry, the pronominal suffix. You start seeing this all over the place when you're reading the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is what they look like in the Dead Sea Scrolls. The second singular pronominal suffixes almost always look like ka, with the kaf hey. Um, I bet you anything that that note attached to to the word there has the regular form of the
It certainly might.
probably does. Maybe I'll look. It's verse 45, right? So,
Yeah, 44, last word, or the second to
oh,
last word
okay.
in 44.
Uh, oh, no, it's actually different. So it's missing it's just missing the vav.
Okay.
Is that right? Or no, sorry, what am I looking at here? Um, yeah, I'd say. Oh, I see. It's just it's just indicating that you've got the composite schwa underneath the ayin as opposed to just the regular vowel. Uh, which yeah, that would make sense too. So, okay. But, yeah, so I oftentimes when I'm looking at the Bible and you see, these odd forms, that's often something I tend to think those are significant. Don't always know why. Sometimes they can indicate the antiquity of a text. I don't think that's in a case like this, because we see a trend towards using
Mhm.
long orthography in later texts and in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Maybe this is indicating that this is actually um, a later form of this story. I don't know. So,
I don't know either. I did pick up a book that Gary Rensburg did on First and Second Kings that I haven't been able to dig
oh,
into yet. He was documenting some of the archaic forms in First and Second Kings, and I think even dabbling in some of the dating methods for some of the forms. But I've yet to actually read it, so I'm excited to dig into it. But as far as I can understand his claim, it seems like there are some archaic passages within First and Second Kings.
oh yeah, no, that would be really cool. So yeah, um, damn it, why didn't you read it before the stream?
I apologize. Yeah.
I'm teasing. I really am.
There's
But
always more to read, you know?
there always is, right? You never get enough. This is actually like this is a pretty good point. What is the difference here? Because he tells him uh lash, like, because these are obscure words, right? Like lash or bind and go and get down. And what's the difference between that and then I think it's later, right? Hagar occurs.
Let me
Is
check.
that in the or was that earlier? Sorry, where is Hagar? Where did
I
I
thought there
see
was
that?
one somewhere in here.
It is, but now I know that Jason's making a point. That's earlier in the text, isn't it? Is it here? Uh, oh yeah, Vayaghar.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. He
oh
bent
yeah,
down.
he says bending down. Yeah, interesting. Wonder what the difference is between those in such a context. Huh. Yeah, good thought. Um, and it's fun. Like with these rare words, we just can't see it.
Right.
Oh, he says the Hagar is normally used for donkeys and stuff. Interesting.
Mm.
Cool. So, all right. Verse 45.
Yeah, yeah, let's dig in. Vayehi ad ko, va'ad ko, vahash vahashamayim, hith this is gonna be a tough one. Hithkadru.
Nice.
Hithkadru?
Yeah.
Um, Avim, Varuach, Vayehi, Geshem, Gadol, Vayerekev, Vayik, Vayirkev, Vay-
Vayirkav. Yeah.
Vayirkav, yeah.
Yeah.
My mind is going back to the word rekev for like chariot,
Yeah.
and it wants to say rekev, but that's not what's actually there. Um, ach, uh, oh, achav, vayelet. Oh, that's not a dollar. Vayelek. Um, oh, Jezreel. Jezreel in English.
Yeah.
So,
Plus the
so
directive, right? Yisraela.
at the end, yeah, yeah, I'm not used to that actually.
Yeah.
So then I would have a translation of, and it happened um to here or until here.
Yeah.
And it happened until here and until here, and the heavens and this is it was a difficult word to put together because it's in the Patel. It's like almost like reflexive. So like grow back. So it's third masculine plural, right? So they grew back, meaning maybe they just got larger. The clouds, avim. So say.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, there's probably a couple ways to translate that, but that's how my brain is putting it together. So I'm saying like the clouds got larger, basically, I think is what he's trying to say. And wind, and it happened, or it was rain, heavy rain for Gadol, or maybe like great rain, torrential rain. And then Vayarkav, and he rode. So Ahab rode, or charioted, perhaps. And he
I like that.
and he went. I mean, because he's in the chariot, right?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And so Ahab charioted, and he went from Halak to Jezreel. So that's how my brain put the translation together.
Yeah.
The verbs, the first is pretty standard, what Cal, third masculine, singular, and it happened.
Yep.
And then the second verb, hithkadru, third masculine plural, hithpatel.
Hithpael, yeah.
Hithpael, yes.
The root there is it actually means to get dark, or to grow dark. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's the skies. Yeah, so it's actually the skies grew dark, and then it says clouds and wind, and there was much rain. So yeah, so it's but and it's interesting too. Like you were thinking through correctly. You're thinking through, well, it's a hit pail, which probably means it's reflexive. What does that look like? But this is one of these instances where like this word, it occurs in the hit pail as well as, I believe, the call. But in the when you look it up in the dictionary, you'll see that it just seems to mean the same thing, no matter what the form is. So it's probably like a bound form where
Gotcha.
it's and who knows if there's like an intensive sense that they're getting from it in this form, as opposed to other forms, or just a way of showing and increasing darkness.
I think that makes a lot of sense if you're using the reflexive to connotate a repetition of growing dark, like it's
Yeah,
continually
actually,
growing dark.
that's a good way to think about it, is continually growing dark. I like that. So yeah, and I think it's useful here too, because this doesn't always happen, but it's useful here too to point out that we have an instance where Hashemayim is actually matching the number of the verb. It's plural here. So sometimes you'll see these plural nouns will take singular verbs, and it's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, we're used to that kind of nonsense in English. English doesn't follow any of their rules, but
That is also true. Yes.
yeah.
So
The Hebrew, I feel like, does a little bit better than English. Let's see. I think the next verb is vayihi, so third masculine singular, kal, I believe.
yep.
And vayir, I'll never pronounce this one correctly. Vayirkav.
You did it.
I think we got the third or fourth time we got it. So I was translating this as a PL, but it might not be. Let me look at it. It could be a call. I guess I'm questioning why there's a dagish in the kaf.
Because and this is where it gets
there's no eval there, so it
tricky.
doesn't look like a PL because there's no eval, but it does. Yeah.
But this is where it gets tricky because it's a Bagad Kafat letter. So and it's opening the
Mm.
syllable, right? So because of that, it has to be a hard letter. So and this is one of these instances where like that's always the first place I go to, right? When I'm identifying a PL is as soon as I
Mhm.
see you're doing exactly what most people do. As soon as you see that dogash in the second letter of the root, you're thinking PL, which is good. You should always keep doing that. But then the next step is to go, does the vowel pattern work?
Not all the way.
And yeah, and that's where this is a problem because we would expect like a schwa in the verbal prefix with a PL, but you've got the heric
Mm.
and the doubled yod as you would in the cow. So right away that tells you, oh, okay, this is cow, and the reason, yeah, the dogish is there this makes sense because it's a Bagad Kafat letter. So yeah,
Okay.
and there you'll notice some verbs will take like an A vowel pattern instead of an O vowel instead of so Vayirkov, you get Vayirkav for for some of these verbs too, which yay, it just makes it more difficult. Thank you. Uh thank you, Hebrew. But so many things
Uh,
to keep in mind all the time.
there's
Yeah.
a lot. There's
Yeah,
a lot.
there's
You never quit learning.
no, no.
I think the last verb was vayelech,
Yeah.
which is from halak to go, or so it said he went. I think is the best translation probably, but the it's a cow. I as far as I can tell,
Yes.
but I was thinking as I was reading it, how we got the vowel pattern at the beginning of it. Is it because there's a vav at the beginning of it?
No, it's because the first is this is this funny word, right? Halak,
Yeah.
which behaves like a first yod verb. So we saw yarad earlier,
Mhm.
right? Um, it behaves like a first yod verb, which means you'll remember I said that the verbal prefix and that yod will smash together,
Mhm.
and then and in this case it'll just become the yod, and it's doubled, and then you've got this lengthening of the vowel from the heric to the
Mm,
tsere. So that's what that's doing there. So
okay.
yeah, it's a funny one. The good news about like the nice thing is that vaye lake is a verb that occurs all the goddamn time. So easy to spot. I like it when they're always repeating themselves and easy to spot. So, that's yeah.
There are some words that you just get used to seeing it, and then your brain shuts off when you
Yeah.
don't really look at the grammar anymore.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the hard things about reading Hebrew, because a lot of times, like, I know the stories, right? So when I'm reading it in my reader's Hebrew edition, like a lot of times I can, even if the grammar is confusing to me, I can kind of make out what the Hebrew is saying. But then to really get into the grammar, sometimes when you're thinking about it, you're like, man, there's a lot of head scratching trying to figure out what's happening in the
Yeah.
actual grammar.
Yeah. Did you va Adko the up to here and up to here or until here as far as
Oh,
here like
I
up
lost
there
your mouse.
you lost my mouth?
No, your mouse on the
Oh.
screen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, there it
Sorry.
is. Oh,
There it
I
is.
thought you were showing me the word.
Oh
Oh
no,
yeah.
these ones here. Did
Yeah.
you
So I mean, odd, it typically just means like until, right?
Yeah.
And then here, but I wasn't sure exactly why we have the repetition of until here and until here. I don't know what why saying it twice is in the sentence.
It's so this is like I mean this is a colloquial expression. is the best way to understand it, I think. So it's their way of saying meanwhile. And
Mm,
I think the best way to sort of think about it and to connect that is to think uh until this and until that, up to here and up to there. It's
like by
just a
and
way.
by?
Yeah, by and by. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
So kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and in the meantime, it happened. The skies grew
You
dark.
you could say, and along the way,
Yeah,
perhaps.
sure. I think that would work too. Um, yeah, but that's what's going on there. Cool. Did we kill it with fire? Is it did it is there
I
anything
think
more to say about this one?
I think we picked that one apart pretty clean.
All right. And once again, I'm just going to point out, Yisraela, chat noticed the directive hey on the end of this. He went to Jezreel. This
Mhm.
isn't some weird feminized form of the Jezreel Valley. So yeah. Cool. All right, last one. Um, the Yad Adonai Hayta El Eliyahu. Vayeshanes, that's right. Vayeshanes matnav vayaratz lifnei achav ad boacha Yisraela. Okay. And the hand of Yahweh was literally to Elijah. Maybe we can picture it like to his back. He's pushing him. So, but I think like a lot of times too, I think that one of the things you see a lot of in the Dead Sea Scrolls is an interchange between the preposition el, aleph lamed, meaning to,
Mhm.
and the preposition al, ayin lamed, meaning
Yeah.
on or upon. And I kind of wonder if that's if that's what's happening here is this kind of meaning. I don't know, but it basically means that the hand of Yahweh was empowering Elijah in some way, whether it's pushing him. I like that actually, or if it's just on him.
He's
Uh,
being compelled.
Yes, it compelled him. The power of Christ compels you. That's it. uh he and I'm just gonna do the old English expression here, and I think we should talk about this. We were talking about this before the stream started.
Yeah.
He girded up his loins. I hate that expression. And he ran in front of Ahab as far as, and here again, it's a weird way of saying it. Um it's kind of like as far as he went to Jezreel, even though
Mhm.
that's not precisely what's there in the grammar. So let's break these down. The verbs here, hayata, this is the cal perfect. Third feminine singular from haya. The subject here is the yad Adonai, the yad, the hand of Yahweh. And I do this weird thing. I know I do this, chat, and this is just me. Where when I'm reading Hebrew, I'll say Adonai for the Tetragrammaton, and when I'm translating it English, I say Yahweh. Deal with it. That's just the way I do it. Okay. So I know it's inconsistent as fuck, but it's whatever. Um, you know what's going on. I noticed that I'm reading out the audiobook and I noticed that I do this. And it's because partly because I'm writing this out too in the book itself. So anyways, vi Vayeshanes this is a PL. All right.
Mm.
And it's got the Vav consecutive. So you can see there your indicator right away. You would have recognized this right away, Justin, because the Dagesh is in the noon. And then you'd be totally on track because you've got the vowel pointing looks right as well. You notice you've got the shava underneath the verbal prefix there. So yeah, it's a PL, imperfect, third masculine singular with the vav consecutive from shanas. And it means something like to bind or to I'm gonna look this up because in my translation I actually had options here to bind or even to tie up. It's an obscure word. This is the one that we translate as gird, whatever the hell that means, right? So gird up your matanav, your loins, which is also another one of these words. Who the hell knows what loins are now? It's like your hips, or it can be your groin, your midsection. So lots of suggestions. It means to be ready, right? Get
Right.
yourself ready. Or some have suggested it could mean to hike up your skirts,
Yeah. So
right?
I had read some time ago the tradition of girding the loins was uh, uh, because the word bind is in there. They were suggesting that they would take the back of the tunic, or if you would call it the garment, and wrap it underneath, and then tuck it into your belt, and it would simultaneously hold it in place and pull it up at the same time.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they were suggesting that's where the possible phrase came from, to kind of bind up around the loincloth and tuck it into your belt.
Mhm.
That's the binding action.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Jillian Wren very helpfully points out that gird is basically putting a belt or a girdle on
Oh,
in
there you go,
English.
yeah.
So, and I think that that's the gist of sort of what's coming through here in the Hebrew as well. I've seen it suggested that, but that's the thing. Like I've seen it suggested in the opposite direction too, that it could be to make sure that you're properly covered when you're running, so as not to, you know, reveal anything you're not supposed to. Not sure if that works culturally in the period in which in certainly in the period that's being envisioned here, maybe later, but
Certainly later, because even the instructions for the priests in Leviticus, like, they couldn't even, the way they had to approach the altar, they couldn't lift their leg the wrong way as to expose themselves before the altar,
yeah, but that's a
that's
but that's
priestly
you're
literature, I
dealing with,
assume.
right, yeah, and you're dealing with sacred space, right?
Right.
So those are the reasons for that. In this situation, it's like, what who yeah, I mean, you're not modesty is not necessarily an issue in this instance. So, but I think probably something like tying your get hiking or tying up your skirts or fastening your clothes to your waist to make sure you don't lose them, something like that,
Mhm.
right? Um, Vayarats, this is from roots, which means to run. This is a hollow verb, so a second vav yod verb, which is why it's pointed this way, appears this way in with the in the imperfect. It's a third masculine singular imperfect with the vav consecutive. And then we have bo'aka here. This is a this is and it's more challenging because you've got the long form of the pronominal suffix here, ka, again.
Mhm.
So this is an infinitive construct from bo, then with this second masculine singular, pronominal suffix. It's literally like you are entering, or your entrance, or your getting into the Jezreel Valley. And it's weird, right? Because this is Elijah ran before Ahab, or ran in front of Ahab, up to the point that you entered the Jezreel Valley. So it's like it
Mm,
switches, but
that's a
I
good
mean,
way to make sense of that.
yeah. So, but I mean, it's clearly talking. It's not even though we would expect until he entered the Jezreel Valley. Sometimes this happens. I'm not entirely sure why
Yeah.
they'll use the second person suffix like this.
It's like he's
Um,
talking to the audience or
yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's interesting. It's a little odd, but that's what's happening here. So I think that's everything.
That
Is
makes a lot of sense. Because I was questioning myself while you had the second masculine on the end of that. Like, who
Yeah,
would he be talking to?
yeah. And and maybe, yeah, and maybe this is, this could also be talking about Ahab too, right? Like, Elijah ran ahead of him until you, Ahab, entered the Jezreel Valley. Um, so yeah, it's fun though. This is one of these I think Josh often talks about this particular text. We were saying at the beginning, you don't get many opportunities to talk about First Kings chapter 18. And it
Look at us
running.
now, and he's not
Yeah,
here.
right. Yeah. So, but I know Josh has often talked about this text, and apologists have talked about this text, because I think it is sort of like this is miraculous speed here, right? This
Well,
is
this is actually a really good point because, like, there are limits to how fast a human being can run. Like,
Mhm.
there are physiological limits. I'd be curious to know how fast you have to go beyond the physiological limit in order to beat the horses.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? So, I mean, I guess, I mean, Ben Johnson raced against a horse once. I don't remember how that one turned out, but but you know,
You know,
uh,
the apologists would say anything's possible with God,
that's
or
right.
obviously it's you can do the arc answer, which is, well, they were baby horses, they were ponies.
Yeah. But I think I mean, just it's a bit on the nose though, because I mean, just the fact that it's the Yad Adonai, the hand of Yahweh, is on him. It's obvious that what's being communicated through the text here is that this is a movement of God
Mhm.
that's getting him there. And this is something I like to point out quite often. I point this out quite often when talking about the conquest story, the destruction of Jericho story. Like, apologists expend so much energy to show how this fits with uh the natural destruction of
Mm.
Jericho. And I'm
Mhm.
like, this is a miracle story. The
Mhm.
destruction of Jericho is a miracle story. It's a story of the power of God to destroy the city. That's it. Same thing here. You can naturalize this story as much as you want, but that's not what the writer is doing. The
Right.
writer is telling you that Yahweh empowered Elijah to get him to Jezreel ahead of the horse. So, like,
To which purpose is not entirely clear, but
not sure. It's an odd story. Again, it's well, I'm not like, putting all the pieces together here, right?
Mm.
He tells Ahab to get going so that he can eat and drink. Um, and then he hangs out to to watch for the rain, but then when the rain comes, he tells Ahab he better get going to get down there to stay ahead of the rain, but then somehow ends up ahead of him running.
Yeah.
It's an odd story. So,
And we're not
odd.
really told at which point he untucked his head. Because
No,
he tells his
not,
servant in 43 to go look.
yep, it's finished his
And
ritual.
then we have the report in 44, and then in 45, we get more reporting, it seems like, and then 46, he just gets up and goes, I guess. I guess he went from the tuck position to girding loins to full-on sprint faster than a horse.
Indeed.
It's pretty impressive.
Exactly.
I have to take a couple breaths when I get up.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. So, but I think that's I think that's it. And we're over time. Just because I really wanted to make sure we finished the chapter today because that would be awkward. So
I wouldn't have wanted to cut early. I mean, we got to finish the story. It's a good one.
got to finish it. So thank you for hanging out and making sure we finish it. And we've got a couple of super chats and some comments and questions. So Lil of all trades, she always gives me treats for my dog. My dog's name is Dagon, the abomination of the Philistines.
Awesome.
Yeah, so he's chilling on the couch behind me now. I call him that largely because whenever I take him for walks, and I posted some videos about this, but he is just mad for trees and sticks. So whenever we're in the forest, this is all that he's doing. He is trying to pull trees out of the ground, often succeeds. Trying to pull trees down, often succeeds. Or just, will dig into a piece of deadfall and rip it apart. And over time, he succeeds at that too. So he is a terror to the trees.
He heard about Simon Bar Kokhba and his men, and he got a little bit jealous. I think you know the legend of Simon Bar Kokhba and the trees.
Yes. So that's very good. I should have called him. I should have called him Simon. I like Dagon. I like Dagon. So, all right. Thank you, Lil, for the treats. Brandon Runyon points out that this is Dr. Falk's favorite story. I'm not sure why, but that's neat. That's neat to know.
I didn't see any of the Mishkapet in here.
Oh no, that's true. We didn't see any of those. Maybe that's why it's his favorite story, because then he doesn't have to worry about actually pronouncing the words correctly. So,
it's one thing to not be great at Hebrew. Like that's okay. It's an ancient language.
Totally fine. Totally
fine. He tries to pass himself as some kind of an expert. I've seen him try to make arguments as an expert, and I'm like, you're probably closer to my level, guy.
Right? That's just it. If you are, and I'm going to take the text off here now because we don't need any more. But if you are attempting to teach people about the language and to talk about what's happening in the text on the basis of what's there in the language, you should probably know what you're doing or consulting resources. Because I've noticed that's essentially what you're doing, and when you do this, is you're like, well, I can read the language, and that's useful to me because now I can actually check all these resources and see what's going on with what scholars are saying about these texts, and this is what they think is happening. But that's not what he's doing. He's just cold reading stuff and then going, this is what it means,
right?
And getting it wrong half the time. Or
he's so funny though. I know he's got so many problems, but it's like watching a train wreck. You can't look away.
God. See, and this is why I get shit from my friend Maya has talked about having intervention, and she's actually got me self-conscious about it. She's talked about hosting interventions for me because I Friday nights very often I will sit down and I'll watch those streams because that's
Yeah.
it. That is it. It's like a train wreck, and you're kind of like sitting there going, "Oh my god, what's he gonna say next?" And there is something, and that there is something every Friday night. There's
Mhm.
at least a thing, if not many things, and it, yeah, that's I have cut back quite a bit though on
Yeah.
my Dr. Falk viewing. Jennifer Silves says rock hard for Doug. So awesome. And send us a super chat. And to point out you are helping with the Hebrew lesson. You are. Like, and that's the thing too. It's nice to have someone Vish is same situation, right? Where she's still learning the language. She hasn't mastered it yet, but when she's been up here, uh like it's useful in a different way where you can walk through and you ask good questions about, well, like, what's going on with the language here, why is the vowel pattern like this. You're asking the same questions that a lot of the people in the chat are asking, which is actually really helpful. So I super appreciate that
I'm
you're
with you,
here.
chat. I'm with you.
So I wanted to I wanted this was with Red, the imperative to get down. Jason made this. I thought this was perfect. If you have a boy cat, you say red all the time. Red from the table, red from the bed, red from the bathroom sink, red from the counter. It means get down. Perfect.
That's a good way to you have to have these little memory devices, when you're
Yeah,
learning
you
different
do.
languages, and it really does help.
It absolutely does. So it's very helpful. So all right, we should get out of here. Thanks for joining me. Do you have anything coming up that you want people to know about?
Nothing major. I got the typical debates happening, Wednesday, Friday, and Mondays, and but nothing special on the schedule coming up. So I think I'll probably be doing some special stuff later over the holidays, but nothing to write home about right now.
Okay. Um, when you're home, so that would be weird. But yeah. So cool. Well, I have nothing special coming up
Mhm.
either. I just have the usual stuff. I know I talked about doing a stream tomorrow, but I have nothing planned. So I might do an impromptu thing. We'll see.
Oh,
Um
that
oh,
reminds me, you and I have to schedule an appointment to do Jeremiah, and I've been writing out some questions
brilliant.
because I really want to go over some of the compositional history on Jeremiah. I think it's super interesting, and I don't think most Christians or viewers know about it.
Oh, no. And I think it's super interesting because not only do most Christians not know about the compositional history of Jeremiah, when you get into scholars, because there's a lot of really intriguing things happening in the manuscripts that we have, the
Mhm.
Hebrew manuscripts from the Dead Sea Scrolls of
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
Eugene Aldrich talked about this a little bit too.
There yeah, like, there's stuff going on there that a lot of people, don't see that raise some really interesting questions, not just about the compositional history, but, about what's some of the historical things that are happening as late as the 2nd century, BCE in the area, and then, just what these people were doing with their texts and how they understood their own relationship, to
Mhm.
the scriptures. So I am very excited to come and chat about,
It should be
Jeremiah with
fun.
you. Yeah.
We lost
So
a guy in Bible college to Jeremiah when
you said this.
when yeah, when I was in Bible
Tell
college,
the
he learned
story now.
about the composition. He said, "I'm about getting out of here. I had enough of this."
Do you think he just what do you think, was that just that was just I'm done, or this school sucks and I gotta go find a better school that's going to
No,
not
he went
teach me
into a
heresy about.
crisis.
Oh my God,
No,
right?
yeah, like he was ready to not be a Christian anymore.
Wow. Wow. That's that's pretty wild. But that happens to a lot of people.
Well, if
I
you grow up fundamentalist, where Jeremiah wrote every word of Jeremiah, and then it was perfectly preserved from that day onward, and then you learn something that contradicts that, you're like, oh my God, I can't trust anything in this book.
yeah. Yeah. You know, I have I met this reminds me when I was in when I was doing my PhD still. I hadn't finished yet. I met a man through the church that I was going to. There was a pastor like who came to visit and like guest speak. And I we ended up in a social situation somewhere, and I was telling him about my research, right? Working on manuscripts of Jeremiah and the Dead Sea Scrolls. And he kind of he had one of these moments too in a different way. He's kind of like, huh, maybe you can help me. He says, can you tell me how it is that the Septuagint got this text so wrong? Right? A- and that's the approach. And it raises another thing that we could probably talk about when we do talk about Jeremiah is why on earth, and this is not something I can understand for the life of me, why on earth so many Christians, so many Protestants in particular, have this fixated attachment to the Masoretic text.
I
Like,
know.
what is so special about this one? Like, even from an historical perspective, like, it's not particularly early.
No.
Um, it's just it's the one that they're super that's what I end up with is this is the text that they're just super comfortable with. And it's the Hebrew text, the you know,
Mhm.
the preserved Hebrew text. So this must be the right one. I don't know.
I think
Wild.
that's the right word. They think that's the version that was preserved. 'Cause remember, a lot of these people are purists, and
Yeah.
they think it must be something that was preserved, not something that was more or less redacted. Like these are the same people that reject the documentary hypothesis and the supplementary hypothesis and the fragmentary hypothesis. They don't like any of it.
They don't like it. Yeah. Yep. No. All good stuff.
Well,
So,
thanks for having me, Dr.
yeah,
Kim.
absolutely. And I hope you come back. As I mentioned,
Certainly will.
I've been talking about it for a few weeks, but I'm hoping to get a rotation in here of a few people on a
Yeah.
semi-regular basis. I'd love to throw you in there.
I'm
But,
getting a little more feeling for pronouncing the words. I'd started taking modern Hebrew at Case
oh,
Western,
good.
and so it's all spoken. We're not doing, and we are reading
Perfect.
obviously, but
Yeah.
it's emphasizing conversations. So I feel like over the coming months, I'm going to get more and more comfortable actually speaking it rather than just looking at it.
Yeah, no question. I expect you probably will. So I would hope so. If you don't, you're probably doing something wrong. So
My mother used to tell me that you're doing something wrong. Stop it, or bad things are going to happen.
Uh, awesome. All right. Well, everyone go make sure that you watch and and I don't know, harass people in in uh in in Justin's in Justin's chat when you go
You really
watch him.
should.
Yeah. It's so that always looks like a good time. So go do that. And I'm stumbling around here trying to find the right ending. But yeah. So next week I actually don't or next time I don't have anyone on the schedule yet, but it'll be somebody different probably. So awesome. See you around everyone. Have a good night.